Let's just start streaming and see what happens. What do you mean? Oh, I thought you said you were leaving. Okay. Cypher is here, and he claims not to be leaving. No, I think I just thought you had to go to physical therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, what day is it? What time is it? And why is Bigfoot dancing in the window? And how can I get in on that sweet, sweet action? So now the dilemma we have, Cypher, is do you play along with yourself or do we go back to raw beats? And I keep this audio. Cypher's here to play some bass, people. I don't know if you can see him back there he's in the mix. There he is. He's going to play some bass for you, but we're playing his bass from a few minutes ago. But I think it's more fun for us to put a stop to that. And let's just mute that. And then we'll go back to proper beats. We're going to play a beat line from Fruity Loops. Fruity Loops coming at you live. It's a nice program, Fruity Loops. You don't have to know too much. You just click wherever you want a beat to happen, and you pick what kind of beat, what flavor over here on this side. I've got 2 kick drums, a clap, a hi-hat, and a snare going. And the bass guitar is live. This is the Brother Seamus show. This is a trial version of Fruity Loops. The only problem with that is you don't get to save your work. But I'm okay with that. If you want to support this program, the Brother Seamus Show, 509-676-6032. Give us a call. We will do our darndest to address your concerns immediately on subjects ranging from Bigfoot to UFOs to the crisis in science-centered thinking to how to identify a con artist. We can talk about anything. I'm a preacher. I'm a psychologist. Kind of a teacher, but I don't know if I want to worry about thinking of myself as a teacher. But if you want to check out our t-shirts, there is a link in the description of this live show, and I want you to click on it, and you will be taken immediately to where you can buy some cool t-shirts that I'm going to show you right here on the display screen. So Humans for Democracy is, I'm going to bring it down a little here. Humans for Democracy is the sponsoring organization that sells t-shirts on our behalf here on the Brother Seamus Show. And right now, we have Immigrants Make Great Americans t-shirt. That's for sale. Ranging from $25 to $30. Different styles, different textures, different shapes. We also are selling our Be an Anti-Racist t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. It's only in the grayscale right now, I think. Oh no, I've got colors. I thought I couldn't get colors on this one, but there we are with the colors. I want to go with the orange. Oh, that's brighter than I thought it would be. So Be an Anti-Racist is for sale. And this is easy to find. You go to bonfire.com/humans for democracy, and you will be so pleased. Soon, coming soon, is going to be a handmade t-shirt that says the Brother Seamus Show, but I'm still learning Still learning how to pull my own t-shirts on the old silk screening human printing press. So it'll be a minute on that. But in the meantime, get yourself a t-shirt that says "Immigrants Make Great Americans," because it happens to be true. That's the convenient thing about this slogan, is it also happens to be true. That's what we think here on the Brother Seamus Show. Bonfire.com/humans for democracy. What else was I going to talk about today, Cypher? I forgot. No, I don't use that name anymore, if I can help it. I refer to the ex-president as an established, he's, whether you love him or you hate him, he's a very good con artist. And I know that's going to offend some people, but so I try to talk around the ex-president and just deal with behavior. So I don't want to offend people, but I want you to listen, and maybe a psychologist might be able to shed some light. Yes, that's a good way to put it. That being said, I am a licensed psychologist. This is not therapy. I just want to make that clear. This is not therapy. This in no way counts as therapy. I'm not delivering therapeutic services. This is a variety show. This is a talk show. This is a call in and get your questions answered show. This is a lasers and fog machine live bass playing by Cypher show. Also, you know what I have today, Cypher? I'm very excited. I forgot I had this. I have new music by a young woman. I think she's out of Grand Rapids. And we're going to pull up her music in a second. Her name is Emma Lou. And her producer is Sam Kenny. I've heard of him. I've heard of that guy, but their music, hell, what the hell? Why am I talking and not playing the music? This is a song called Gangsta Medusa. If I open the right link, we will hear Gangsta Medusa. Once I turn down the Fruity Loops, got to pause that, then turn up this. Oh, I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything, but here it comes. Gangsta Medusa by Emma Ward, produced by Sam Kenny. There we go. Cypher, have you heard this ever? No. Cypher's never heard this, people. This might be like some sort of Brother Seamus premiere. We could do this all the time. Uh-oh. I like that. I'm going to play this loud, people. I recommend you turn it up. Turn it up, okay? Mm-hmm.
White coat from the lab, got my easy bake oven, creepy crawlers on the slab, catch me latex gloving with machines glowing purple, green and hints of blood, red. Experiment conducting, know my methods in front of it. It's a little unorthodox and really is something. Just playing with my toys and trying to get ahead. Dark matter and vision. What I'm working with is particles in all positions. So I'll attach myself to this sound transfuser. Send this code inside as an infinite user. Talking about Gangsta Medusa.
Nice.
obvious face goes to the walls. Use the jaw, switch it like my big guy. I just try to kill time so I can't have this face out. It's a serious subject and I'm not trying to touch it. The conversation, cause maybe the wrong puzzle is nothing. So I just hide inside the secrets while the rings are made to legit.
Sign of hand transmissions. Got the way to carrying out my real convictions. So I'll attach myself to this sound transfuser. Set this code inside as an infinite user. Talking about gangsta Medusa.
Well, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? That's Gangsta Medusa. That's a fresh track from Emma Ward. I think she comes from that Michigan town on the west side. That Grand Rapidy kind of town. Emma Ward. Check it out on the Spotify, I guess, is the best way to do it. So Cypher's here playing a little background bass today. I got to get my preaching done because I got to get out of here in about 30 minutes. I got me about 30 minutes to get my preaching done, people. So let me pull up my notes. I like to preach from the heart, but it's good to have notes because sometimes your heart gets mixed up and you need something to keep you on track. You know what I'm saying there? So anyway, I know what else I forgot to do. I forgot to post the live show over on my Facebook page. So I need something to keep you on track. You know what I'm saying? Oh, see, now I'm listening to my own show. So anyway, I know what else I forgot to do. As I'm doing my own show, I'm listening to my own show. The live show. And it so on over on my Facebook page. And so I need something to keep you on track. And so on. See, now I'm listening. That was going to be problematic, so let's see. So what do I want to do? I want to read the details of my show. That's where I know a better way to do it too. I can cut over to the live stream and see my notes. That's way better. Let's do that. The Brother Seamus Show. Today's topic is we already have many cures to racism. What we don't have is the will. We don't have the will yet. We're getting there. We don't have the will yet to actually go forward with some of the things we need to do to fix racism, but we already know how to do it. And these aren't just my ideas. These are ideas that humans have had, and I'm just trying to preach about them just to bring them more recognition. Social media is fooling us into thinking that we should be enemies because what the super wealthy, I'm not saying wealthy people are bad, but the super wealthy, especially the greediest of the super wealthy, what they really fear is a truly fair system of taxation and representation where every single human, black, white, gay, straight, trans, doesn't matter, where every human is paid a fair wage so that all communities can be saved from poverty, saved from violence, with access for everyone, indigenous people, black people, poor people, doesn't matter what color doesn't matter, skin pigmentation doesn't matter. What the super wealthy fear is that the vast majority of humans want a fair system. So what do? Well, one thing they do is they threaten violence. They kill people. For example, Mr. Navalny, he really could challenge Putin for the presidency of Russia, so Navalny puts him in jail without a trial, fake trial. Now, I know some of you think that's happening to the former president, but, the evidence will come out. And you can say it's all fake. The problem with, that's my joke. The problem with saying it's all fake is you can then say anything is fake, or you can say anything is true. So we have to rely on a system, a court system, a jury of your peers. Donald Trump's going to get a jury of his peers. They're not all going to be Biden supporters. They're going to be randomly drawn. And if there's no evidence, nothing's going to happen. He'll beat the rap. He's got plenty of lawyer power to beat the rap. But if there is evidence, he's got to pay for his crimes, whatever they might be, even if you think they're trivial. Because I'll tell you this much. If you didn't have his level of stature and his amount of money and you did any of these things, you would have already been prosecuted. Probably several times. But that's not really the point. What I'm getting at is we already know how to deal with what we call racism, which I think the word racism is a sloppy word because there's only one race. There's the human race. That'd be a good t-shirt. There's only one race. Let's put a beat on that real quick. See how that sounds. You ready to jam? Cypher. Ooh, that's too loud. That beat is loud. There's only one race. There's only one race. There's only one race, the human race. There's only one race. Only one race. It's the human race. Only one race, it's the human race. There's only one race. There's only one race. There's only one race, it's the human race. There's only one race. Only one race. There's only one race. There's only one race, it's a human race. There's only one race. There's only one race. Only one race. There's only one race, it's a human race. Only one race. There's only one race. There's only one race. There's only one race, it's a human race. Only one race. Only one race. Only one race. Only one race, it's a human race. Only one race. Only one race. Only one race. Only one race, it's a human race. Only one race. There's only one race, people. All right. We got a little sidetracked there, and my monitor broke, and I can't switch my camera. So let's see. What are we going to do? No, we're stuck. Looks like we're stuck on this particular screen for a minute, which is fine. I'll just switch over. So here's one way we attack racism. One way we can deal with racism, and we all know this already, we just don't do it. And it's going to sound simple and naive because it is kind of simple. It's kind of simple and maybe naive, but it will actually work. I call it the primacy of play. That's a title I picked up from a textbook in grad school. The primacy of play doesn't deal specifically with racism, but what it says is that all humans, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of skin tone, all humans can be connected through play because it's primal. It's kind of hardwired into us that we enjoy play, and it's a way we learn and a way we get to understand each other. If our children play together from the time they're very young, if all the black and white children play together, if all the different skin tones play together, and their parents hang out and they actually get to know each other, and the children grow up around each other of diverse skin tones, diverse religions, diverse gender orientations, those kids won't see those traits as anything to be concerned about. The problem is humans are visual creatures. Excuse me. Spring is here, people. Spring is here. Those kids won't see skin color as important. Evolution, because we're so visual, we learned that anything that looks different from us might be a potential threat, and then our amygdala gets involved. And skin color does that to people because we're so visual. But if you grow up as a kid around all different skin tones, you won't have so much implicit bias. We can basically teach ourselves in a very healthy and productive way not to be racist. We just don't do it. We don't have to wait for the government. The government doesn't have to make a law for us to have our children intentionally, let's get our children together and have them play together. In psychology and behavioral conditioning, they call that extinction. You take an unwanted response and you make it irrelevant. You make that response no longer useful, because what kids would learn is that skin tone has very little to do with the character of the person they're interacting with. So that's one way. That's one way to get the train going in the direction of positive, what shall we call it? Positive ethnic acculturation? No, that's not good. Well, let's call it anti-racism. Let me see if I can get my screen unstuck over here. I wonder if it's because I got too many things open. That's kind of what I'm wondering, people. We could look at this for, oh, this one's playing. That's probably part of the problem. We'll let it play. This is home movie footage from our trip to New Zealand. I wish I could cut over properly, but apparently I've lost control of the OBS system. Okay. C'est la vie. So step one, let's get our children to play together. We can do this as a collective. We don't have to, there need not be, in fact, it's probably better if there's no government mandate for this kind of thing. Let's just do it on our own. Let's intentionally, and I'm talking to my white brothers and sisters, we have to start thinking about intentionally creating neighborhoods where there's not a black-white divide or a white-Hispanic divide. But we do it intentionally, we do it voluntarily, and we start to do the opposite. This is idea number 2. We do the opposite of redlining, and I think people are already doing that. So again, what I'm saying is not new. I'm trying to be a hype man. Most of the good ideas that you might hear from me are ideas I heard from somebody else. They just seem like good ideas. So let's do it. Let's be smart about it. Racism doesn't cure itself. I think that's kind of a fantasy of the people who are not subjected to the oppression. And look, we can argue. I know a lot of you are going to argue, and let me just get this out of the way. Racism exists. I'm sorry if that upsets you. It's existed forever. It's particularly bad in the United States. African American people have been mistreated for 400 years. These are just facts. The social science is there. There's no question about it. People who, and it doesn't mean that white people don't get mistreated, because if you're poor, guess what? Here's the ranking. If you're poor, you're going to get mistreated. If you're poor and you're black, you're going to get even more mistreated. And the numbers are there. There's no real question about this. Discrimination, effects of violence, being forced to live in neighborhoods that are not up to good standards, let's say, or not being able to sustain themselves through fair wages, what have you. The numbers are there. So if you're poor, you're going to get mistreated. You're going to get pushed around. If you're poor and you're black, you're going to get even more mistreatment. If you're poor and you're black and you identify as female, you're going to get the triple whammy. Now, you could call in and we could debate whether that's true, but the science is pretty well established on the old racism, people. So if you're living in a fantasy fueled by QAnon or any other online source that's trying to tell you that somehow there's no such thing as white privilege, I would say, come on, look at the science. It's there, but it's nuanced. It's nuanced. A lot of poor white men also get shot by cops, but it's disproportionately black men. That doesn't mean poor white men don't get picked on either. They do. It's just not quite as bad. So we could debate that, but we're going to assume, since there's a high level of scientific certainty to the fact that racism exists and it negatively impacts people, we're just going to go with that. Let me check my notes. That might be the end of my preaching for today. And we're going to have one more jam session before I get out of here. If I could switch my screen, oh, wouldn't I be a happy, happy man. Let's see if I close the New Zealand footage. I'll bet it'll bring my screen back to life. I'm just betting. I think my video card was freaking the heck out. Here's my notes. Okay. Oh, you need to close down over there. I've been testing the CapCut editor. That's the editor that comes with TikTok. And it's not bad. I don't care about all this hubbub about TikTok. I think the truth is it's no better or no worse than Facebook. They're all bad for us. So let's get our kids together and have them play, and let's intentionally move into neighborhoods. I see I misspelled desegregation here in my notes. Oh, made it caps. I didn't want to do that. Voluntary Intentional Desegregation. It's one of plan number 2 of 2. Primacy of Play. Let's get our kids together so they can play. And we can start to extinguish the evolutionary imperative that's triggered by visual differences. It can become extinct. And why do we want to get rid of that? Well, 2 reasons. One, it causes harm now. It causes harm. It's part of the reason. It's part of the reason that proportionally speaking, more black men get shot and killed by police than white men. Some of it's evolutionary, some of it is conscious racism. Some of it is, when you hear implicit bias, what that's really telling you is it's something that's so ingrained, either from evolution, I'm talking about the evolutionary angle right now, but society ingrains those beliefs as well, so it's a double whammy, really. So how do you undo decades of conditioning in an adult human? Well, that's tricky, and that's a topic for another day. But for children, if they're from an early age playing and having visual experiences of people who have different skin tones, skin tone won't be a variable that they use to decide who's good or bad or who's safe or whatever, because that data doesn't mean anything. And evolution trims off stuff it doesn't need anymore. The quality of a person's character can't be indicated by skin tone in any way. Kids will achieve a state of, true post-racialism, if you want to call it that. But we have to make the intentional effort to get them together. And then for us, for adults and for everybody, let's undo redlining. I heard somebody call it purple lining. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but yeah. So anyway, we got to do it. Let's do it. Let's quit talking about it. You know what I'm talking about? And don't believe everything you read on Facebook, because you can... you need a jury of your peers. That's our system. Rule of law. If Trump is guilty, he'll be found guilty by a jury of his peers. And he'll have to deal with that. But in the meantime, let's work on racism. I believe social media, the forum in which you are partaking of this program, is super dangerous. I say that as a psychologist. I believe social media is causing a form of an unofficial form of delusional syndrome, where large chunks of people are convinced of things that are fundamentally untrue. And the more upsetting things are on social media, the more people go back to social media, which allows them to sell more ads. This can eventually destroy us, I think. I feel like as a psychologist, this is not therapy, but I have a duty to warn, is kind of the way I look at it. I can lie on Facebook. I could say something like, "Did you hear that Nancy Pelosi was smoking cigars with Fidel Castro? Did you hear that story, Cypher? Nancy Pelosi was smoking cigars with Fidel Castro." That's how I'd say it back in my redneck days. Now that's totally made up. I mean, I don't think she's ever smoked a cigar with Fidel Castro. Point is, I can say whatever I want. And if I have a lot of money, I could push that. I could write a little story about how they were seen together by somebody. And I could pay Facebook to spread it around and spread it around and spread it around. And yet we can't hold them accountable for the damage that causes. Now, you may love Nancy, you may hate her, but her husband was violently assaulted because of stuff that some guy read on Facebook who is too unstable to keep it together. And even some stable people get sucked in. So we got to get this together. We got to get off of social media. I know, I'm on social media, talking to you on social media, playing our music on social media. That's irony, folks. Remember, if you're enraged, they've got you. They send you an article, makes you upset. Now you're going to be on Facebook longer. They make more money when you're upset, and I believe that drives extremism. And that's what I'm going to preach about until whenever something happens, people. Get yourself some t-shirts over here. That's the wrong place. There it is. Humans for Democracy. People, get yourself some t-shirts. That's what I'm talking about right here. $26 to $30. We have not raised our prices since inflation happened. This gray one, Immigrants Make Great Americans, is only $20.90, people. Can you imagine such awesomeness? You can get it in a gray and a darker gray. This was the original Immigrants Make Great Americans t-shirt, designed by yours truly. Sizes from extra small to 4XL, people. 4XL. Can you believe it? 4XL down to extra small. What's the other color I can get? I've lost track. Oh, there it is. You can get that color too. Humans for Democracy. And if you just follow us on YouTube, there are some links here. This is in the description of today's program. Let me make this a proper size again. I made it big. I made it big, people. All right, it won't let me. Let me do what I want to do. Nope, not happening. All right, well, I can't change my screen anymore, can I? Boy, this thing's all messed up. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, nobody called today. That's okay. We heard a great song called "Gangster Medusa" by Emma Ward. Cypher's live on the bass. Yours truly. I hope you're not too. I hope you're not too put off by me preaching at you. That's just how I roll, people. I'm just a preacher at heart, and I don't think I know better than anybody else. I don't think I'm special or gifted in any way. I think I look pretty good in these blue blockers, but I don't think you can see me right now. Let's turn on camera 2. Oh, hey, there I am. I was not thinking about the problem on the control panel in the right way. My thinking was too uptight, people. I forgot to mention that we're doing a unpaid plug for a small coffee company called Coffee by Design out in at least one location I know is in Portland, Maine. And Bigfoot's gonna show you their design. There you go, right there. So if you're out in Portland, hit up Coffee by Design. You ready to jam out to some more jams, people? You ready to jam out over there? You ready for some beats? You ready for some beats, people? This show is over. I did my preaching. I'm sick of hearing my own voice. Coffee by Design. They did not pay us to promote them, but I love the hoodie. It was a gift from my brother. If you work for Coffee by Design and you want me to keep dancing in this hoodie, I will. I mean, Bigfoot will. I might dance in it too, but it fits Bigfoot better than it fits me. Coffee by Design. Coffee by Design. Bigfoot's dancing in Coffee by Design. Coffee by Design. Bigfoot's dancing, it's Coffee by Design, that's right. Bigfoot's dancing in Coffee by Design. Coffee by Design. Bigfoot's dancing, it's Coffee by design. In Portland, Maine, and I think there are other locations, but I forgot that part. You can look them up. This has been the Brother Seamus Show. I forgot to put up my logo for a long time. There it is. That's a good one. Let's do the big one. Fade to black. Fade to black.